Well, thanks for doing this interview. This is really, really good because it's been quite a special year for you, isn't it, and the organisation of what you've done.
Definitely last year, yeah.
Amazing. I was absolutely overwhelmed when I saw it on there, and I thought, this is absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have been happier because it was about time we had representation, wasn't it, really?
Oh, yes, it's been a long time coming, but it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant to be part of it.
And that was quite a few years ago, wasn't it, really, that you applied?
It's been a campaign that we've been running for maybe 30 years.
Oh,
you know? Yeah, absolutely.
30 years.
And we've kept going back, and they kept saying to us, "You're not big enough. You don't have enough representation in the armed services." Any excuse you can think of.
Yeah.
And then in about 2011, we got to a point where it was clear we weren't getting anywhere, and you can only beat your head against a brick wall for so long, Adrian. You know?
Yeah.
And so what we did was at that point, we came up, the Arboretum at Stafford, at Allruwas, was just being built. And we applied to them and said, what are the chances of creating our own memorial there?
Right.
And they said, they welcomed us with open arms.
Yeah.
And if I tell you, in a period of maybe 11 months, we floated the idea. We got the authorization from the members to do it. We had it designed, commissioned, found a stonemason who could build it for us.
Wow.
And raised the funds to build it. And it was about, I think, £26,000.
Oh my goodness.
And we actually did that and dedicated it within 11 months. We left Stansted Hall at about 7:30 on the Sunday the 11th. And it was absolutely bucketing it down.
Oh no!
It was tremendous, and I thought, I'm going to stand outside now for a service, and I'm going to get drenched.
Yes.
Fine. I don't think I would have noticed. I really don't. I was so, hyper about it.
Yeah.
And anyway, we got into central London. We drove in. We followed the instructions. Our passes seemed to get us through various police checkpoints.
Oh, right, yes.
And then we found ourselves parked on Horse Guards Parade.
Oh.
And all around there was all this organisation going on, various people, military, police, security, everything.
Yeah.
And we got to a point where we could see where we needed to be, but there were barriers and we couldn't get there. So we sat there for nearly 40 minutes, and I was beginning to think, we've got so close.
Yes.
We're going to fall at the final hurdle. We're not going to be there.
Yeah.
Anyway, different calls to the departments, because of course, all of the security, the police and everything, they accepted our passes, but didn't know anything about the instructions that we'd been given.
Oh, right.
So they had to check and go back to the department. Anyway, finally, these great big concrete barriers just seemed to sink into the road, and we were able to drive through.
Right.
And park. We left the car, we walked up into Downing Street and through into the Foreign Office, and it was a surreal experience. We arrived in this room. There were other faith representatives there. There was 22 different religions in total.
Wow. Yes, I saw that,
A lot of them I knew because of the work that we do with the Interfaith Network.
That's good.
Some of them I knew quite well, and and then certain people started to arrive, and it was surreal to see people who you've only ever seen on the television, actually in the flesh, and at one stage I looked up and Theresa May came in, there was Tony Blair, there was David Cameron, there was Gordon Brown, and there was John Major. There were quite a few members from the cabinet. Jeremy Corbyn was there, and there were a lot of the high commissioners from various far-flung shores who were also there, and we were all just gathered together in this room, and when we got there, as I said, that civil service wonderfully organised. There was a list of all of the faith leaders, and we were right at the bottom of the list.
Oh, right.
And I thought, oh, well, that's all right. I can live with that. We're the new boys,
Yeah.
you know. That's not a problem. I can't quote it exactly, but certainly there's something in Christianity that talks about he who will be first, he who is last will be first. Or something like, you know, I'm not good at quoting the Bible.
No.
But when they lined us all up to go out onto the parade ground,
Yes.
I was right at the front.
Now,
So-
how did that happen? I bet that upset a few, but that's amazing.
Perhaps did. I looked up and I thought, our Spirit have wonderful ways of working.
I know. As I like to call it, head office. It's so
And
true.
it's amazing. And we stepped out. The lady who was, there were two columns of people.
Yeah.
And the lady who was heading the other column was the president of the Unitarian Church.
All right. Yeah.
And I'd met her a few months previously when we were at the Arboretum.
Yes.
And so she and I, both there for the first time, ending up leading all these various faith leaders.
Fantastic.
And it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, the beauty was we queued up, we were led down the stairs in the Foreign Office, and just as we went down the stairs, looked to the right-hand side, and all the royal family are there waiting.
Wow.
You know, Prince Charles, Prince William,
Yeah.
Prince Harry. The Queen was there, but she was on the balcony because she doesn't take part in the service anymore.
No.
I think because of her age.
Yes.
But we didn't see the Queen at the Foreign Office. She was up on the balcony. So, of course, we went down, and as we stepped out onto Whitehall, the sky was blue.
Yeah.
The sun had come out, and I thought, wow, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because, and the whole service, it was the feeling, the sense of being there.
Yes.
It was just amazing. And you looked out from where we were standing, just behind the Cenotaph,
Yes.
and there was this wall of media.
Yes.
There was press and television and video there from
Everywhere.
all the countries.
Yeah.
And it was just, you know, really amazing to see all this media that was going on, and cameras on hoists and everything.
Yes.
And it was just a very, very special feeling.
Oh, I must admit, I was excited here because I knew you were there. So David's leading the front. You know, the spiritualism is out there. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it was. I didn't obviously know until afterwards, but certainly on the BBC's coverage, David Dinwoody mentioned that the spiritualists were there because he did list all of the various organisations, which was great.
Yes.
And I was working up in Gateshead last evening, and the gentleman came and has just had the same reaction as you've had.
Yes.
And he said, oh, it was brilliant. He said, and to see, he said it was reported in the Times, and spiritualism was mentioned in the Times.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's given spiritualists everywhere, and I'm not only talking about the SNU, I'm talking about spiritualists everywhere. It's given us such a feel-good factor.
Yes. And I also think credibility too.
Yeah, I had a little, I had a card come through via Stansted from a Christian spiritualist church. Can't quite remember where it was, but it's not a church I know and not a church I've served in the past.
Yes.
And they just said, we were so happy to see spiritualism represented.
Yes.
And we just wanted to say thank you for what you've done. And I thought that was brilliant.
That was lovely, wasn't it?
It brings the movement together, and that's so important.
Yes, an amazing time. So hopefully you don't have to apply for it anymore. You're going to get it automatically every year, are you?
I believe so, yes. I understand going forward we'll just be automatically invited. So that, fingers crossed.
I mean, I couldn't see any way it shouldn't be whenever it happened. And obviously you've been working at it for so many years to suddenly get that result out of the blue almost. But you must have met all the criteria.
Well, exactly. Or I think, to be fair, within government, they're trying to be a little bit more inclusive.
Yes.
And you've got to recognise, Adrian, that we live in a society that is a lot broader on grounds of faith
Yeah.
You know, and people who obviously who have no faith. And I think that they're trying to bring everybody together.
But yeah.
But I think one of the key factors for us, 3 or 4 years ago, we applied to be part of the Interfaith Network.
Yes.
And we've been working very hard with the national organisation. And one of our Interfaith ambassador actually is one of the trustees now of the IFN.
Oh, right.
I just think you never know, Adrian, what doors are open to you.
No.
Your name goes onto lists.
Yes.
And, you know, I think you've just got to, when the call comes, you've got to be prepared.
Absolutely.
And make the effort to go down. Yes, all right, it's a trip to London every few weeks, but I think you've got to put something into it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you only get out what you put in, and I think that element of networking through interfaith, you know, those are some of the people that would be going. So therefore, it becomes, you know, whoever's the body deciding that, it becomes recognised. And because, you know, you work so much in your organisation in the community with other faiths as well, you're known like you knew people when you were there on the day.
Yeah.
Which makes a big difference. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know in some ways.
That's right. Yes, but also it's been a great opportunity because meeting people from other faiths.
Yes.
I have to say we've been very well received. I'm not conscious of any problems, certainly not nationally.
No.
I am conscious of problems with some small local groups where some of our churches have applied to be part and they've either been refused or whatever. Yeah. But that can be sometimes down just to the opinions of 1 or 2 people.
Absolutely.
But nationally, we've been very well accepted, and it's amazing to be able to share what spiritualism means and to explain what spiritualism means to us.
Yes.
And also listen to other people's views on their religion, because I just think it's fascinating to hear what people believe and the basis and the understanding of their faith. And I think the faith journey for any one of us, you know, it's a lifelong journey, and you can't possibly know everything at any given time. You know, I've been a spiritualist for, well, this is my 41st year.
Yes.
So I've been involved a long time, and every day you learn.
Yes,
you know,
I agree.
You've never got the complete package.
No.
There's always an opportunity, and people that you meet teach you, you know, however well educated you may feel you are, or whatever experiences you've had.
Yes.
There's always something to gain and always something to refine, develop and evolve, and that is important.
I think you're right, because there's so much more of an open forum there across the faiths, because you may see it in some of your churches where you get people come from what I call some of the Orthodox churches, who I know we have a number of people that come to ours that can't tell their priest or minister that that's what they're doing, but they go to a service in the morning and come to ours in the evening. And you know, it's a little bit of a quiet network between these people, but they love coming to the Spiritualist church. They love the excitement of it. They love the openness of it and the friendliness of it, that they're a part of a new little group that's coming in. And we see, like you probably see, of people of many different faiths. And you talked of like 41 years being in Spiritualism. I've seen that in the last sort of 40 years, how the whole idea has changed about Spiritualism. You know, it was a taboo subject and everything else that was talked about. But over those times, how the faiths sort of more integrate and more accepting, because when they see people like yourself and other people who are what I call normal people and not the extreme parts of any religion, then they realise, well, they're no more different than us apart from the doctrines and creeds. And I say, you know, they say, who do you work for? I just say, well, I work for head office. That's the way I look at it, you know, and they make their own minds from that. And it's just so nice to see that.
It always surprises me how many people are surprised when you say that you believe in God.
Yes.
Because I don't know why, they just have no concept that spiritualists accept God.
No.
So that's an interesting starting point for a discussion.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, we're probably lucky in some smaller ways because it's the same sort of experience. Although we're Christian spiritualists, and, you know, we do a Bible reading every week and other readings to go with it, it doesn't disturb their mindset of what they expect, apart from when probably a medium works. And because their mediums are working so, what I call so soft and gentle with the energies, and it's quite a natural thing without going into any sort of real altered states, they go, well, it's so bad after all, quite enjoyed that, and they come back.
Yeah.
Because when they can't get answers from what I would call orthodox faith about losing someone, you know, what happens to them when they go. I mean, a lot of faiths will talk about it, but they don't really understand it in some other ways. So obviously, our belief system, our connection, whether it's the 7 principles, your own 7 principles, is that we believe in that connection between the physical and the metaphysical. So therefore, we open those doors through good mediums, a little bit of guidance, all those sort of things. So people out, sometimes out of desperation, come to ask those questions they know they can't ask anywhere else. And it's just wonderful to see that integration level, or that openness that goes on out there.
I think one of the powers of spiritualism is the fact that we are an evidence-based religion.
Yes.
So I don't, you know, we don't say to you, come along and just have faith that this is what we believe.
Yes.
We provide you with evidence of what we claim.
Yes.
And, you know, we've both been working with the spirit world for many, many years. And I never cease to be amazed at some of the things that come through. And just remarkable, life-changing evidence.
Yes.
I often remember speaking. We've done quite a lot of work in the last few years with Northampton University and the team there. And one of the ladies there who lectures, she's a trained bereavement counsellor.
Right.
And so obviously she has a great understanding and appreciation of grieving, which even as spiritualists we do. You
yes.
know, we still feel that physical loss, and that's quite natural.
Yes.
Part of our makeup. But she said to me, and this is to me such a powerful statement, that she felt, and she was open to mediumship and interested in mediumship, and had a great understanding and a belief of mediumship. And she said, you know, 20, 30 minutes with a medium in a private reading, in her mind, could equate to 6 months working with a bereavement.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And that is so powerful.
Yes.
You know, to be able to help people. It is quite amazing.
Yeah, because often, you know, we talk about mediumship, but also I often, you know, people say, what's it all about? I said, but, you know, it takes a more holistic approach to things. You know, we talk about spiritual healing, so there's a great benefit from that. And like most churches afterwards, or other different times we have it afterwards, we'll have a healing session, and we get people come in, not because of the service, they come in at the end because they want the healing. So there's a main body within the church, they want healing as well. So that now becomes quite a major tasking at the end of a service to provide enough healers to get that done. And that's so nice that other religions do it by thought, yes, in a prayer, but ours would be the spiritual healing or hands-on healing, however it's determined, to see that as such a natural thing. And so many people that are distressed in life who come into churches like the ones we're connected with, come out of some element of loss, but they find the healing helps, they find the talking helps, they find the open plan policy of no doctrines or creeds, principles are different, that they find it far more relaxed.
Yes.
But
yes. I think that healing has a great potential in the world, and we've been working with one particular organisation. Last year I visited the Bristol Royal Infirmary, and we went down there because both the SNU, BAHA, the CHO, and UK Healers, we work together in what we call the Healing Forum.
Yeah.
That represents many people from many different backgrounds with different approaches to healing and alternative therapies.
Yes.
But we've kind of built this informal dialogue between the various organisations. We're all national organisations.
Yes.
And what we've done is we've established a Healing Awareness Week, which happens the first week in May every year. This will be the third year this year we run it. And as part of it, it's not the main intent, but part of it, we do a little bit of fundraising, and we raise some money.
Uh-huh.
And the last couple of years, we've donated this money to a charity called the Sam Buxton Healing Trust.
Oh, I know of it, yes.
Yeah, and they do some amazing, amazing work. And the trust actually had placed a healer into the children's cancer care unit,
Yes.
at the Bristol Royal Infirmary. So we went down to present the cheque from last year's efforts of fundraising, and we met the representatives from the trust. We also met the clinical team there at the hospital.
Yes.
And it was so encouraging to hear the medical staff say how much they value the work of the healer. And the lead clinician said, you know, if the hospital turned round and told me that the funding wasn't there to have the healer anymore, I would find a way of ensuring she was retained on the team.
Yeah.
And you see, Adrian, it's bringing about a change.
Yes.
We know, I mean, it's no secret that the NHS is having a difficult time. You know, they've never got enough resources. But I think that if we can bring healing and other complementary therapies into the NHS,
Yes.
and incorporate them from a holistic point of view,
Oh, yes.
approach to health, there is a tremendous amount that can be done, and also a tremendous amount of benefit that can be given to people to understand.
Yes.
And, you know, going there, and they've got this beautiful, beautiful room where they treat people, and you know, working with children and young adults.
Yes.
That are facing cancer.
Yeah.
You know, they are just doing some spectacular work, and I'm so proud that we've been part of being able to facilitate that.
Yes.
In a small way.
Yeah. Well, but in the end, it's a big way, because we too have seen that sort of locally. I think Rita Haylock, one of our ministers, has been working with the oncologists in the same group, in the same study group. They learn how to deal with the technical staff, and they learn how to support the patients that are going through it. And I've been absolutely amazed, and I know there's more work this year to get that more integrated, probably from where we are as well. So it's a fantastic step forward to realise that now is it within hospitals. I know you and I and others get asked to go to hospital to give healing to different people, and I've seen that change over the years. I've seen it change from something a bit strange to start with, when I get a call from the chaplain many years ago saying, I think I've got one of yours here, he said. Yes, and yeah, we're a Christian spirit. Do you know the Bible? Yes, we know the Bible. And obviously they put spiritualist or Christian spiritualist, whatever they wanted to put. After that, I get a call, another one for you, Adrian, you know, and it's nice to see that on the form. They don't.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here